Hell. Jesus Christ. So, Jesus. Okay, so we got back from town. We went for a walk into town and we got off the dinghy. We tied the dinghy up to the back of the boat and we always put a second line on. We put 2 lines on, like 2 painters on to attach the dinghy to the boat. Just in case. And for whatever reason, we didn't. I don't know. We just didn't. We put one on and we didn't actually put the second one on. And I'm just working at my desk and I literally look up and I think, oh, there's a dinghy over there. It's like just floating in the middle of nowhere. I thought it was anchored. I thought it was like saving a spot or someone was diving off of it. And I looked up literally about 30 seconds later, it was on the rocks. I'm like, oh, geez, what's that? And yeah, sure enough, you know the end of this story. It was ours. I just ran downstairs and put my bathers on. I was literally about to jump in the water and swim over. And a few people in a rib just came screaming past and Nick just screamed at them. He's like, wait, stop, help, can you take us over there? And they did. They've taken him over. Like that one time, you know, you put the safety line on just in case because you don't ever expect your line to fail. And the one time it fails is the one time you forgot to put your bloody safety line on. I'm like, oh gee, someone's lost their dinghy. And then it dawned on me that that person was us. Good evening. We've had a really lovely day, beautiful day. I mean, you know, look at this setting, it's just stunning. We've gone for a couple of swims and I got some work done, which was very satisfying. I realised that my footage from 2 days ago is missing from my SD card. It's just gone. So everything that I filmed on the 19th is gone. So I don't know what happened, but anyway, that's fine. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it now. And I've filmed over it since. So lots of people have come and gone today already. Everyone who was here this morning when we got here has left and we've had a new contingent arrive. Some people stayed for just a couple of hours and then others stayed for quite a bit longer. I wonder, I didn't think that there was like a charter base around here, but maybe there is because suddenly I'm seeing a lot of charter cats. This would be a great place to do a charter holiday, by the way. It would be perfect, like super short sails, like everything really, really close together, lots of things to explore within a small area and lots of beautiful bays like this. The water here is just stunning. I mean, it's stunning everywhere in Greece, but I just feel like for some reason it's particularly beautiful in this region. So yeah, definitely an option for a charter if that's what you're thinking about doing. But yeah, we've got another boat arriving here behind us. Everyone's circling trying to find a spot to anchor, but you know, there's room for everyone. The bottom's a little bit seagrassy, but you know, everyone should be able to find a spot.
It's fucking perfect.
I know. I feel sorry for this guy, but I don't understand why he's re-anchored so often today. Watched an amazing sunset, just sat on the on our beautiful little lounge area on our foredeck, and this poor boat.
We do feel sorry for them.
I feel sorry for them. Yeah, this poor family who actually were anchored next to us last night in a different anchorage. They've been here since they got here about an hour after us this morning. We got here like we hadn't even had breakfast yet. Yeah, that was them from last night. They've been here all day, literally 10 o'clock this morning. They arrived. They've re-anchored 3 times in that time, and I thought they were just being fussy about where they dropped their anchor. But it turned out they just couldn't get their anchor to bite, and we saw their anchor. It was a big delta. I don't think there's anything wrong with their anchor. So yeah, they tried 3 or 4 times this evening. Literally, the sun's going down and they're anchoring in amongst all the boats. And first they anchored right next to us, and we had to say, "I'm sorry, you're too close." And then they re-anchored next to another boat, and they said, "I'm sorry, you're too close." And then they came back to us, and by this point we're like, these guys probably need a hand. So they re-anchored, and they literally just stopped because there's no wind at all. They just stopped and put probably about 15 meters of chain down, and they were literally right next to us, and we waited to see what they would do, and then they emerged. You know, they kind of looked like they were kind of happy with that, and I'm like, so we said, look, you haven't even dug your anchor in yet, and when you reverse, and when, you know, if the wind picks up and we all move a little bit, then you're going to be way too close. Anyway, we tried to give them some instruction. They were really lovely, but eventually they just bailed and they left, and it's like getting dark and they had to leave. So God knows what they're doing tonight. I hope they find somewhere safe to spend this evening. But that's a bad feeling. We've been there, we've all been there. It's a bad feeling.
I'm Terysa, this is Nick, and this is Ruby Rose 2, our floating home. If you want early access and ad-free videos, plus loads of other benefits, please consider joining our Patreon community. And for additional lifestyle and technical content, including exclusive podcasts, sign up to our Substack newsletter. Otherwise, please consider subscribing to our channel and leave a comment because we love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this episode.
Another day in Greece, another trek up a hill. It's not too far, but the heat kind of makes it a little bit more challenging.
It's really nice to run.
Yeah. Delivery to all boats, probably not our boat, that must have been the harbour. Puzzle plant. Got a few things. Tomatoes, peaches, pineapple. I do need some sunscreen. These actually look way better. Okay, this is looking fairly well stocked actually. Beautiful afternoon here. There's a fair bit of wind outside, I think, but it's hard to tell. The wind in here is very minimal. Every now and again we get a little gust, which makes me think we've got like really good wind protection here, but when it gusts quite a bit outside, we kind of get that as well. But the boat spins in like 360 practically. We have been spinning all over the place, as you can see from our track. And about 2 hours ago, a motorboat came and dropped his anchor right next to us, and because we put Nick puts a waypoint down where we actually drop the anchor, and then when we dive on the anchor, we make sure it is where we put it, so we know exactly where our anchor is at all times, which is actually a trick we've only just started doing, and I highly recommend it. It's super convenient. Anyway, so I could see when this boat arrived that he was dropping his anchor like maybe 10 meters away from ours, right next to us, and I went out as he was dropping the anchor and I politely said, our anchor is right there, like right there. And he said, don't worry about it, I'll drop back. And I was like, okay. Anyway, sure enough, the wind spins us both around. We get way too close to each other, within a meter or so, and yeah, finally he agreed that he needed to re-anchor. Obviously, you know, all these little anchorages have little idiosyncrasies which are very odd, because yes, I've been surprised at how our boat's been moving around over the last couple of days as well. Or rather, it's the wind in here, like it kind of funnels around, so you just get the wind coming from all different directions, even though outside it's very consistent. Anyway, nonetheless, it's all very, very beautiful. We've been joined by a new cohort of neighbours. One is a ginormous, I don't know what that is. It's an FP. It must be one of their biggest ones, maybe like a 60-foot Fontaine Pajot. Another motorboat has anchored over there and they're having fun in the bay. And then there's a monohull as well who've anchored out of everyone's way over on the north side of the bay. Very comfortable in the bay, no swell coming in, occasional wake from ferries and big motorboats. And yeah, we're just having a bit of a lazy afternoon. God knows what this order is going to be like.
That's okay. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What else do you want? The wind has finally come through, and we were woken because we got hit by a fishing boat. Yeah, they came in and they must have come in way after dark. Yeah. And when the fishing boats come in, it has to be pretty rough anyway. Yeah, we've got a nice little scuff on our starboard hull where we got hit by a wooden fishing boat. It just looks like gel coat repair. We're going back to Seawind Europe, so they'll have to just do that. There's not even any point in trying to go over there and sort insurance out with them. So yeah, it looks like I'll be on anchor watch. Because you've been doing it, it's, yeah, just to point this out. It's not me that's doing anchor watch.
Yeah, I woke up about an hour ago, and I was like, oh, the wind's picked up. Better just check where we are and just make sure everything's okay. And I was actually worried because there's a boat behind us here. They came in after us, and we've swung with the wind, and we're not too close, but if we drag, then they're immediately behind us. They're about 2 boat lengths behind us, so we don't have much space to drag if we dragged. So I was actually more worried about them. And we're on a lee shore. We've got rocks about 100 meters that way. So that's what I was worried about. And then I was up for about an hour, and I literally thought, oh, we haven't moved in an hour. It's been gusting, like, it's actually not that windy. It's been gusting like 25 knots, like max. It's mainly been like 15 to 20. So definitely not too bad at all. And after an hour, I was like, oh, we're okay. It's fine. And literally, I got back into bed, and about 30 seconds after I got back into bed, I felt a thud. And I grabbed Nick. I'm like, and I thought we dragged. I thought the thud was us finally dragging into that boat, but it wasn't. It was a fishing boat. Oh boy, the joys of living on a boat. So this is why we keep this charcoaler on, by the way, because we can see our track and just where we've been while at anchor. We've got a little waypoint there. That's where our anchor, that's where we dropped our anchor. Hopefully that's where it still is. But you can see just where we've dragged. So we're just on the, not where we've dragged, where we've moved, where we've kind of been swinging. So you can see that we're as far from the anchor as we have been, but that makes sense because it's windier than it's been so far in this anchorage. So we've just been kind of swinging around here for the past hour. But yeah, the fishing boat's anchored right in front of us again. See the light over there. They better not hit us again. We are going to head back into town to celebrate Nick's birthday. So I probably won't film all that much because, you know, we want to enjoy the moment rather than be whipping the camera out every now and again. But yeah, I think nice little birthday drinks, somewhere with a nice view, cold beer,
And a salad.
and a lovely salad. I'm sure we can do better than a salad. So yeah, so another uphill hike followed by a refreshing drink, followed by hopefully something nice to eat, followed by a downhill hike, followed by bedtime. What the hell? I think there's some goat on the menu tonight. So we just had dinner. It was very, very delicious. I didn't film any of it because sometimes you just got to enjoy the moment. But it was lovely. We had a beautiful view. We could see another anchorage from our table. There was no one else there. Clearly people don't eat as early as we do. In our defense, we need to kind of get back to our boat before it gets dark so we can navigate our way through the rocks between the beach and our boat with our dinghy. Anyway, yeah, nice little birthday celebration for you.
A nice little birthday.
Low-key.
Just a question.
Oh.
Cyclades or dodecanids?
Are we asking our lovely viewers?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, right. It might be on your head.
A bee on my head?
Is it?
A-B?
It might be a fly. Okay, so I feel like Santorini really dragged down my view of the Cyclades, and that was our first port of call here. But then we went to Eos, which was possibly the most beautiful beach I've ever been to, with the most beautiful water I've ever swam in. Mm-hmm. So that really swung the needle in the other direction. And since then, we've just been to these beautiful little anchorages on this little, we're in the, it's either the small Cyclades or the little Cyclades. They're probably small. And it's just so charming. It's just so beautiful. They're these tiny little islands which are very close to each other. So, you know.
It looks different to
And it looks
other
different.
islands.
It does look different. Look at that view. Reminds us somehow of like France, maybe?
Yes.
Some of those French islands that we visited. You asked me,
Yes.
the Japanese versus. I don't think that I can make a judgment. I think they're both excellent.
As I said to you over dinner, I think most of these islands have exceeded my expectations. The
Yeah.
entire cruising ground has.
Yeah.
It is, you know, and yes, subject to anything horrendous happening in the next month or so, I think by the time we finish our season, I think, well, this will now become my top cruising destination.
So it's been a long time coming, us finally getting to Greece, which was always the dream. And we're here and it's just exceeding our expectations, which were very, very high, I have to say. And it's, we're just like blown away. Everything that we do, we're just absolutely blown away. We love it so much.
Yep.
We're just very happy.
Well, consistent weather. It's either hot and sunny and windy, or it's hot and sunny and not windy.
Yeah, exactly. And the people are so lovely and the food is good. But this is honestly like ideal cruising. Just, you cannot hope or ask for anything better. The Bahamas, the Caribbean, anywhere in Asia that we've been to, Western France, as Nick has said, like no other cruising ground so far has I think scores so highly, so consistently as Greece. We just, and that's just our personal, that's just based on what we love. But yeah, I'm just loving it.
Well, the sailing's amazing.
Yeah.
The anchorages are amazing.
Yeah.
The infrastructure's there.
Yep.
The people are friendly. The weather's amazing.
Food is good.
There's no tides and current to play
Yep.
with. Reasonably priced. Our anchor sets every time.
Yes, very important. The water is crystal clear everywhere you go, just amazing. I mean, what more could we want?
And the anchorages are calm and still.
Yeah.
We can get in and out without any buggerance.
Yeah. So far so good.
As I raise my spectacles. I hope you enjoyed that. It's 15 minutes of us through a Greek island.
Why the random Scottish accent all of a sudden? Just sort of, I'm
Now
just feeling it. It just came to me.
we outro.
All right. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. And yes, as Nick said, in his own
Next
special
week.
way,
Back next week, you wee bastards.
if you want to see more sailing videos from us sailing around Greece, the beautiful, amazing cruising ground of Greece, then please subscribe to our channel. And yes, we will indeed see you next week with more sailing and
Aye.
hopefully less very dodgy accents.
Good night, my wee friends.
It's a fine place to be stood in my underpants watching a sunset on my own boat. It's definitely a man and his castle moment. Hey? Sporting a dodgy tash, some threadbare underpants, and watching the sunset
On your birthday, no less.
on my birthday in charge of my own destiny.
Well, there you go.
There you go.